Hey guys, it's ANicWin, also known as Amy, and happy Monday. I hope you're having a lovely day. This is an apartment renovation in Evergreen Harbor. This is in the Stonestreet building. I think this is my favorite apartment building that The Sims gave us. Honestly, in a future update, I would love to see them add more buildings, not just to like new worlds, but existing worlds. I think we need more apartment units in more of the worlds, especially the like quote unquote city ones. I think it just makes more sense to have apartment options. That's just my opinion though. Anyway, this is a very pink apartment. I have said it multiple times. I'll reiterate. I don't like the color pink at all. Like not even a little bit. Yeah, no. So it kind of shocked me that I was leaning towards pink. I don't really know what possessed me, but when I was picking out the wall color, I picked out like this kind of deep pink that you're seeing here. I picked it out first and I was like, well, we're going all in. This is going to be like Pepto-Bismol pink, the entire thing. And it is. There are some, various accent colors, like the kids' room is yellow and pink. So it's not full on pink, but I did go pretty hard. I really embraced it. And I'm shocked by how much I liked it. I really like this apartment. So, plot twist. But my storyline or premise, whatever you would like to say for this particular unit, is we have a young adult sim who is, in my head, like a graphic designer, like graphic artist for some sort of company. I think she's probably in like marketing or something like that. But she's fostering 3 kids. Now, I haven't quite decided if the 3 kids are like her nieces or like maybe younger cousins, or if they're just unrelated to her and she's just fostering because, that's her calling, her passion in life. But whatever the case is, the 3 kids are related. They are all 3 child age Sims, but I think they're varying ages. So if you needed age ranges to go by, I think you probably have like a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and like an 8.5 or almost 9-year-old. That's kind of what I'm picturing in my head. So none of them are preteens, none of them are toddlers. They're just solidly like children. And I had a lot of fun with this one. Their room, and you may have noticed on the floor plan, there's like 3 quote-unquote bedrooms. One of them is a full playroom, and the other one, the bigger room, is actually their bedroom, and we're going to get to that in a second. So I started off with a hallway. You saw that. I love a good entryway. I did do a gallery wall. It was really fun to do. And then we hopped into the master bedroom. I just decided to take it this kind of like room by room. I mean, as you do. And so this is her room. I think initially one of those bonus rooms was probably her office. I feel like she also had a full walk-in closet, like one of the rooms. It was just like floor-to-ceiling clothing racks. And she's kind of condensed and she's made room for them. So she's moved her office into here, mostly because, if this is her livelihood, she doesn't really want the kids to be able to have access to things they could accidentally delete or destroy or break. So all of this is in here. This is kind of really her space, and I do think she spends quite a bit of time in here, not to the point where she's negligent to the kids, but to the point where like when they're at school, she's in here. When they're in bed, she's definitely in here doing work. And that's just kind of her lifestyle, I suppose. I also think she's pretty heavy into fitness. So you'll notice from the Everyday Clutter Kit, a few of the fitness items. I feel like she's a hot yoga girly. That's just the vibe I get. I don't know for certain, obviously, but I just feel like that's her thing. She's into hot yoga. I feel like she walks with ankle weights on. Like she's more of the dedicated but casual fitness girl. And I kind of love that. So we're putting the finishing touches on her desk. I had the tiniest bit of trouble finding things in the gallery. Like I knew what packs things came with. Not the gallery, in the catalog. I knew what packs things came with, but I was getting some things confused, and I cut a lot of that out. But I spent so long on her desk, and it really was not necessary. Once you see the final product, you're like, why would that have taken me that long? I think it took me 20 minutes total to decorate that, just because I was scrolling for so long. But I really like her room. I think it's pretty simple. You can tell that things kind of got pushed over to make room for all of this stuff. Like she's got her whole wall here of clothing and dressers and shoes and everything. Yeah, so that was kind of my goal, to make it feel like she literally shifted her life around so that she could make room for these kids, because she definitely did. I believe this clothing rack here came with high school years. I didn't see it when I went through the pack somehow. Actually, I don't know if I actually went through the entire pack and pulled every item out. I usually do that with new content, and I don't think I did it with high school years. I think I just kind of dove right in. But anyway, I didn't know that we had that, and once I saw that, I knew I had to use it. It was not optional at that point. Then we move on to the bathroom. I really didn't want to use this tub because I think I had just used it. But in my head, I thought there was a like a version of it that had a solid pink tub and like kind of a white-ish shower curtain. I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking of, so I kept the one with the elephants, but I gotta be honest, it kills the vibe and I don't really love it, and I'm gonna leave it because I have no other option. But that wasn't my preferred choice of tub. I think I was thinking of a Discover University shower stall, which is just disappointing to me, but it's fine. I mean, I made it through. We're okay. But the bathroom, just like the bedroom and the hallway and every other room in this build, is mostly pink. I'm using accents of like cream and white kind of in here as per usual. There's a rubber duck. Whenever there is a kid in the build, there is a rubber duck in the bathroom. I don't make the rules. I just abide by them. You gotta do it. And the bathroom's pretty simple. There's not a whole lot going on. I don't include a rug because there's not a whole lot of floor space. And now we're moving on to the kids' room. Now, I figured out the issue with the bunk bed, but with the ladder not disappearing. It was totally like the auto feature needed to be on. I had it turned off. So I'm just silly. But I wanted to use bunk beds, but I didn't want every single bed to be the same. So you can see me kind of cycling through what this bottom bunk should be. I do land on a Dream Home Decorator bed, I think. Yes. But it's a different style. And then the one to the left is actually a high school years bed, but it's perfect for a kid. I feel like that's such a random design for them to have given us, because that's definitely super youthful. Like, that's little kid to me. Maybe I'm judging. I don't know. I don't mean to come across as judgmental, but that is a little kid bedspread if you ask me. So I went with that. So I think that's the youngest child's bed, like the 5-year-old, and then the other two could really have either bed. I think the middle child is probably on the top bunk and the oldest is on that bottom bunk, but like, you could really divvy that out however you wanted to. I'm including this little nifty knitting table. I think this doubles as their dresser. It doesn't really look like a dresser, but that's kind of what I'm treating it as. It's doubling as a dresser. It's really just like a console table type thing though. We're cluttering the heck out of the top. I almost said something else. And I'm just adding toys that I think kind of reflect each kid's personality. So that kind of gives you a vibe for like what we're dealing with. And then I'm treating these two bins also as dressers slash toy, like catch-all things. I probably should have included 3, like one for each kid, but I didn't. So I think the bins, like the ones on the left that are multicolored, there's one for each girl, and then the one on the right is probably like divvied up the same way as well. So that was my thought process. I am trying really hard to use this pastel pop desk. I don't like this desk. The shape is okay. It's so big, like it's overly huge, and I don't really like the color swatches. But I want to like it because I like the shape. I think it's perfect for like a youthful room. But this one works. The neutral color, this one, the swatch, it works. But the other ones just weren't doing it for me. They just weren't. But we're giving them their own desk. I do include that little tablet thing that also came with the Pastel Pop kit. I think it works as a computer. I haven't play tested yet. I know we're not shocked, but I decided they needed their own little thing that they could play on. In my head, it's like one of those Amazon children's tablets, so they can't access anything they shouldn't be accessing. That's just the adult in me, I guess. And we're just decorating the rest of their desks. So they do have to share when they're doing homework and stuff, which is kind of a bummer, but I also don't think they mind, considering the 5-year-old like probably doesn't have homework and the other two probably don't have much. I feel like At least in America, homework for young kids isn't really a thing anymore. They give them like silent reading assignments, maybe a project, but like they're not coming home and doing math worksheets and stuff. At least the kids that I know are not doing that. Which I'm all for. I'm team no homework, especially when you're that young. I don't think there's any feasible reason why a kid should attend school for 8 hours and then come home and do 2 hours of homework. That's just not necessary, in my opinion. And I'm educated enough to have that one. My background is in that. Anyway, so we're just kind of adding some finishing touches to their room. Like I said, I wanted to kind of reflect each one's personality. So you can really kind of pick and choose whose stuff belongs to whose, because I didn't really put it by each bed except for the younger one. But I think this room is really sweet. It's probably one of my favorite like girly kids rooms I've done, and I just had a blast making it look kind of insane. And then we move on to the playroom. I decided to do a full separate playroom rather than having the girls split up. And I did that for 2 reasons. One, I felt like maybe they would prefer to be together at night, just because if they're in the foster system, most likely there's some trauma associated with that. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole either, because I could. Believe me, I could. My degree is in family science, so I did a ton of those kind of case studies and stuff. So anyway, I thought that they would prefer to be together. And then for 2, I don't really like splitting up the toys that they share between rooms. So it just felt better to have a themed kids room. So we've got like the little art table, a little play box. I do have the empathy doll. I give them the violin, and then I use the puppet show. I don't use this often. I honestly couldn't tell you the last time I pulled this thing out of the catalog. I think it was earlier this year. I feel like it was in a Tartosa build, but I can't confirm. I don't remember. But I like it. It's so cute. The interactions are adorable, but it's so massive. It's hard to really commit to using. So I decided this was my opportunity. I took it. We have like 2 little chairs kind of facing it. I'm really leaning into the pink and the blue that you see in the wallpaper. And yeah, I'm just kind of trying to make this like a cozy, fun, colorful space for children to play and, you know, have their brains stimulated and all of that stuff. And I leaned pretty heavy on the pastel pop kit again. I didn't mean to do that. It just worked. So it's growing on me. It's still not my favorite style, but I do like how kind of versatile it is, especially with kids' rooms. I don't know if that was a goal, but that's how I'm using it. And I also used more of the My First Pets DLC, which is controversial in and of itself, but I like that. I like that DLC. I think it was a good one. I'm sorry, don't hate me, but I do. I think it was a good one. We're just throwing down some rugs, and then we're gonna move into the kitchen and the living room. I was going to do the living room, kitchen, and like all the main living areas first and then do the bedrooms, but I feel like I always have to cut the bedrooms off, so we saved these 2 areas for last. Now, I did decide not to give them a dining room or even a table with chairs. I just didn't include it. I kind of regret that decision. Honestly, there is some like post-building regret, but there wasn't really space for it. There just wasn't enough room for it to make sense. If I had it to do again, you'll see later there's a giant like double bookcase. I'd probably get rid of that and push a table up against the wall. But I don't like how clunky that looked. Like I really did try, and I just didn't love it. So the kitchen is kind of large, and then the living room is also kind of large, and they just kind of have to eat on the couch, and I feel like that's okay. It's not ideal, but I feel like it's okay. I also used the really bougie refrigerator that came with base game, and I wasn't going to, but for some reason I had it in my head that they needed like an ice maker. Don't ask me why, because I don't know, but I just really wanted that feature. And you either have to use this refrigerator that I used, or you have to use the Parenthood one, and I feel like I use the Parenthood one too often. So I tried to go with a different one, and I enjoy that I branched out, but it also didn't quite like scratch the itch, if you will. It doesn't look how I wanted it to look. I don't know. I need different refrigerators, I think. I think I'm just actually, I think what the issue is I just need to practice with a different style in the kitchen, and then I won't feel like I'm using the same items over and over again. I think that's the real issue. A different problem for a different day. So we're kind of cluttering up the kitchen. I like these open shelves from the Dream Home Decorator cabinets a lot. I don't always clutter them up, and I felt like I didn't need to necessarily this time, but I did add a bowl to that top one there. I mean, you see it, it's pink. Just because I knew they had a pink swatch. And I left a lot of the clutter down here. Now I did get rid of those jars. They just were kind of throwing me off. And I feel like this is an appropriate amount of clutter. You have two like cabinets open or countertops open for preparing, so you can use the group cook feature. So I'm trying to remember to let that be a thing. And now we're moving on to the living room. This is the last piece. I was not going for aesthetic, so I wasn't worried about anything matching as far as like wood tones or style or anything like that. So I did go with I think that's a Dream Home Decorator sofa, and then the love seat is from High School Years. And I struggled really hard with getting the layout in here down. I just wasn't really thrilled with anything that I was placing. So as you can see, I'm trying to like sort through and pick out a bookshelf, and I do end up picking one. And then I thought maybe I wanted this TV. I don't keep that TV either. And then we're gonna throw down a piano. I didn't really know what direction I wanted the living room to go in, and I figured it out eventually, but it was a journey. I was like, what? I had a vision for every single room, and then I got to the living room and I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm blanking. Panic. And I panicked. I don't know if you can tell, but I did. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the builds, guys. You have about a minute of footage left before you're gonna hit the screenshot. So as always, feel free to leave a like or a comment down below. You can also subscribe if that's something that would spark joy for you. I will be posting the screenshots on Instagram, and the tray files will be available linked down below. You can hop over to either place and check either out if you want to. The build will also be up on the gallery for download. I will see you on Monday with my next video, and in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely rest of your week. Bye, guys.
On my own, I think of you, you're on my mind, you know. To me, that's alright. Green grass on my neighbor's lawn. Maybe I should take a stroll. And to me, that's alright. To me, that's alright. I spend my days just dreaming about you. Well, now that's just what I will do. I'm telling you, the sky is blue, the sun is high. I'm sitting here on my own. I think of you, you're on my mind, you know. To me, that's alright. Green grass on my neighbor's lawn. Maybe I should take a stroll.